Hi, my name is Nate from EZscreenprint.com, and I make videos about screen printing using the at-home hobby kits such as Speedball and photo emulsion sheets. This video is going to be a complete overview of the Speedball fabric screen printing kit. First, I'm going to do an unboxing and show everything that comes in the kit. Then I'm going to show you the one thing that doesn't come in the kit that you're going to need. And then I'm going to go over the photo emulsion method for screen printing t-shirts. Alright, now that I've got it unwrapped and unopened, let's take a look at what comes inside. You got 3 different color fabric inks. We've got blue, black, and red. And these are going to be fabric inks. It means they're going to be good for using on light color garments, not darker ones. We've got the photo emulsion, the bottle of sensitizer, which will go into the emulsion. Next we have the photo emulsion remover, so you can clean your screen out when you're done screen printing your t-shirts. These next 2 bottles are not part of the photo emulsion method. This is the drawing fluid. It's a different method for screen printing your t-shirts, which I'm not going to be going over in this video. And this is screen filler. Again, not used in the photo emulsion method. All right. This small slip of paper just goes over how to use the sensitizer, which I'll go over once we get to that part. This is a squeegee. It also comes with a paintbrush. Next we have the user's guide from Speedball. It goes over how to use the kit, how to use the photo emulsion method, how to use the screen filler method, how to expose your screens. We've also got some popsicle sticks in here used for stirring ink. And we have the screen printing frame, which is 10 inches by 14 inches. Alright, next I'm going to go over how to use the sensitizer and the photo emulsion. There's just a small amount of material in the sensitizer bottle. You can see it's a little bit black. I'll go ahead and open up the photo emulsion, and you can see before we got the sensitizer, it's this bright blue color. And because we don't want to expose the light, I went ahead and turn off the light. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water to the sensitizer bottle. I'm going to screw the cap back on. Then I'm going to shake it until that is completely dissolved into the water. And then I'm going to add it to the photo emulsion. And now you can either stir the sensitizer into the emulsion with a popsicle stick, or you can cap it and just shake it. And now you can see it's turned into this bright green color. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and apply some of the photo emulsion to the screen. And I'm just going to do a little bit because we've got to do a test run. We've got to find out how long we need to expose the photo emulsion to light in order for it to work. And you don't want to use a whole lot because you're just doing a test run, you don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to coat half the screen. Alright, and this is the test image I'm going to use. And I'm going to use a ruler and a pencil. and I'm going to mark off 5 lines, so I have 6 areas. I'm going to test my emulsion with 6 different exposures to find out how long I need to expose this emulsion to a light source, because if I underexpose the emulsion, it's just going to come out and I'm not going to have a design. Now if I overexpose, then the emulsion won't come out. Alright, so I've got my 6 areas marked off, and I'm going to tape the transparency to my frame using Scotch tape. I don't want to use anything that will block light. Now underneath you can see where I drew my 5 lines on the emulsion. And I'm just using these as a guide so I can use something to block the light. And you'll see I'm going to use the manual that came with the kit as a way to block the light. I'm going to expose my whole screen, and then after a certain amount of time I'm going to use the manual to block the light and block the light. That way each area I'm not blocking is being exposed longer and longer. I'm going to figure out how long I need to expose my screen to light for in order for it to work. So you can see now I've got the whole thing sitting under my light source. And I'm going to set it for 2 minutes. And at the end of 2 minutes, I'm going to come and I'm going to block that first area with the user manual to find out if 2 minutes was long enough, or if I need to expose it for even longer. And again, set it for 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, I'm just going to slide the manual forward some. And again. Alright, once I've exposed all the areas, I'm going to rinse it out and see how long I should. So that should be a total of 12 minutes. I'm going to see whether 12 minutes was too long, 2 minutes was not long enough. Okay, now you can see here, see there at the end, that is where the 2 minutes was, and a lot of the emulsion came out. And you can see as we come across, it got better and better. More of the emulsion stayed, and you can see more of the detail. So you can see there at the 12-minute mark, that's what I need to be using for my exposure time. The next thing I need to do is to clean out my screen. And I'm going to do this by using the photo emulsion remover that came in the kit, a sponge brush, and possibly a sponge. You really shouldn't need it, but if it's difficult to get out, you might need to use a sponge brush. So I'm just going to apply the photo emulsion remover to the screen. And the reason I use a sponge brush is because you see here when I just pour it straight on the screen, some of it could drip through and it's a waste. So I use a sponge brush to just get on the screen what I need without wasting any. And you'll just apply a lot to one side. And you probably won't see anything happen right away. And if not, you can try using a bristle sponge. And then you'll flip it over and you'll add some more again. And then once you can't see any more detail in there, you just need to rinse it out with water. Alright, so now my screen is clean. You can see that the photo emulsion stained it, but it's not going to hurt anything. You just stained it blue. Alright, now I'm putting on a fresh coat of photo emulsion for the actual thing I want to screen print onto a t-shirt. So once I get a uniform coat on there, I can hold it up to the light and make sure it's uniform. I don't have any holes in it. Alright. Now one of the places where I get images I want to screen print is from this Dover clip art collection here. It comes with a CD, so you can just put the CD into your computer and grab an image. There's numbers by every image in this book, and you can grab it right off the CD. See, you can see this is the image I grabbed off the CD, and I printed out onto a transparency. This transparency is the one thing that doesn't come in the kit. You have to buy these separate, but you can get them pretty cheaply on eBay. Alright, so now I'm going to affix my transparency to my frame, keeping in mind which way I want it to be screen printed. So if I want this face, if I want the guy to be facing to the right, or if I want him facing to the left, I have to screen print him, or I have to tape him facing the opposite direction. So see, when I finally screen print him, he'll actually be facing to the left because I'm exposing him upside down to the right. And again, I'm taping it to my frame using the Scotch tape. I don't want it to block any light. And we're ready to expose. And I'm going to expose it for the 12 minutes that we decided was okay during the test run. Alright, here you can see me using the hose. If you just wet the image first, you can see it show up real well. If you just wet it down and let it sit for a minute. And again, I'm going to just wet the other side and then use a more forceful spray. It should come right out real easy. So just get your frame wet and let it sit for a minute and then spray it out using a little bit more force. Alright, after you wait for it to dry, you're ready to use it for screen printing your t-shirt. What I was doing there was making sure that there wasn't any fabric folds underneath the frame there, because that would mess up the screen print. And now I'm using this blue painter's tape just to block the edges there where I don't have any photo emulsion. If I get any ink there by the edges, it's going to go straight through and it'll ruin the print. So I'm just putting the tape down to block those edges. Next, I'm going to open the blue fabric ink and use a paintbrush or one of the popsicle sticks to apply a liberal amount across the top of the screen. And I just like to spread it out evenly over across the top of the screen so I can get it all the way across my squeegee, which I'll be using next. Alright, using the squeegee, I'm going to hold it down at about a 30-degree angle. This is called flooding the screen, just to get it all, the ink evenly across the top. And come any place where it looks like the ink isn't, I'm going to go at a 30-degree angle and do those sides there. And then you come back across at a higher angle, about 90 degrees, to push the ink through the screen and to remove the excess ink. And you can tell, if you're looking and you can tell where there's areas where the ink's not going through the screen, you can just keep working at it. Alright, and our image came out perfect through the screen. And now I'll show you close up how the image came out. You can see all the detail came out to look just like the transparency. Alright, the next thing to do is to either wait for the ink to dry, or if you're in a hurry, you can use a blow dryer to dry the ink. And once the ink's dry, you need to heat set the ink. So I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper and then an iron on top of the ink. And this is just to melt the ink into the t-shirt. and make it permanent. And that's it. That's the end of the photo emulsion method, the Speedball screen printing kit.